Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and welcome back to Tekkit 2, and Merry Christmas to all of you out there in the world. Christmas is coming up fast, and we're gonna have to decide whether or not we end the series, or whether or not we continue. Do we sell everything that we've worked on here? For now, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to keep that thought in the back of our head and procrastinate as long as we can on making that decision. But I've been doing a little bit of work since the end of the last episode. I have surrounded the room with the high voltage solar panels, which are looking absolutely fabulous, I might add. And then if we have a look over here, I've reconfigured this a little bit. So this might be a tad confusing at first. Let me kind of walk you through it. We have the ender chest up here with the iron ingots, and then down here we have the recycler going through the iron ingots and spitting them out into this chest, which you'll notice is now being kept full for the most part. We'll talk about how we accomplish that here soon, but then those are coming out and going into the mass fabricator, which is generating UU matter at an absolutely unimaginable pace. It is going crazy fast, and yet still not fast enough to fill this thing up. And I'll tell you why. It's because I've actually, been grabbing more solar panels. When you grab more solar panels, UU matter gets used. So I've also increased the amount of certain things that I keep on active requests. So, for instance, we have recently increased the amount of those we want and the amount of these we want, and just kind of stockpiling a bit more than we did before. But I did come back up here, and I got the compacting recycler from before. We took it down before. We've put it back up, and it's just up here and running. And as you can tell, it is also moving at a pretty ludicrous pace. For some reason in my mind, this was not going as fast as the machine in the basement when we added all of those crazy overclocking upgrades. But looking at it, yeah, it is going as fast. You can't see the progress tracker. It's just bam, 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 very, very quickly. It's 0.0 of 333. I don't know what that means. I guess that's the progress tracker. It's just going so fast. It's just completing the operation in the blink of an eye. But it's going about. I would assume it's processing the same amount. I don't know that. It's possible it's actually faster. I haven't tried drag racing them or anything. We could just turn the one in the basement into a regular old compacting recycler. But this one is feeding all of these machines, which are still going for some reason. Why not, I guess? I could take them all down and have the power be just fed into one down here at the end, and we'd accomplish basically the same thing. But they are also going into the ender chest here, so you'll notice right now this one's full. So yeah, we do have excess going in there, and every so often we end up with too much, and they go into this ender chest here to be deleted out of existence. But there you go. That's the process we have going on in here. I noticed something interesting though, right? So we have been creating pretty much a non-stop, constant flow of copper cables. You kind of have to, because we desperately need copper cables. Unfortunately, we're not running out of either of these ingredients anytime soon, but copper cables are being consumed in pretty high amounts over here, where we have just an absolute mess. I cannot keep these manufactured. What I did was I created an obsidian chest so that it would have way more room. So right now, I've kind of cheesed it a little bit, okay? The way that we are doing this is we just have it running infinite. I think the concern with infinite is once it's done, even if there's nowhere for them to go, it'll continue manufacturing them. Possibly is how that works, or how it has worked in the past. We'll find out. But you know what? We're just trying to make a bunch of them, so we'll have plenty kind of stockpiled. And then this is configured here to put in 63, because that's the only number that works when you're dealing with item translocators for reasons beyond understanding our explanation. But those are going into the ender chest here, and it's created a bit of a mess. I think because this is set to infinite, this, for whatever reason, is just going bonkers. As far as I can tell, it seems to be summoning an infinite amount of items, which means that these just keep going up. This just keeps getting more and more cables. This just keeps getting more and more redstone. This just keeps getting more and more iron ingot, and I don't know why. And something I've considered doing, just as a sort of temporary provision, so that we can sort of bring this to a close, is just get rid of these provider modules. Because there's enough up here to keep this whole operation running indefinitely. And it has actually caused a problem. This was empty. It was consuming so much refined iron that it had actually emptied out completely. And I was like, do I need to expand iron production? And then I realized, no, I've got to figure out what's causing this weird looping iron problem where it's just constantly summoning infinite iron. And I've been trying to figure this out, and I have an idea. I have something I want to try, and I don't know if it's going to be the solution, but basically the idea is that if this is caused by this calling for an infinite amount of electronic circuits, okay? If it's calling for an infinite amount of electronic circuits, and that's calling this to say, hey, just send me every bit of refined iron and copper and redstone on the network indefinitely, because I got to make an infinite number of these, should we add maybe a barrier of some kind? Something to separate this requester here, this provider module, or sorry, supplier module. Should we separate it from this crafter in some way, and will that kind of work for us? And so here's what I'm thinking we do, all right? We just need to get a chest. Any kind of chest. The specific chest doesn't really matter. We could get a barrel, except I don't think they have an EMC value, and therefore too much hassle. We'll just get a regular old chest. Heck, we could get a regular old dirt chest, except I'm pretty sure that just holds dirt. So it's kind of useless. I don't know why we would want that. We could get a regular oak chest, sure. Or we can get an obsidian chest. It's really big. It's too big to be necessary. But for the sake of this, here's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to isolate these by replacing this with a pipe that only allows power to pass through, because we have to keep these things powered. And then we are going to have the items pass through this chest. And we're going to configure this to keep one stack in stock at all times. But then also we will put a supplier on this side. So I could keep explaining it forever. Or what I could do is I can come back over here and I can grab a couple of logistics chassis MK1s. And then we can get an active supplier. And we already have a provider in our inventory. So we are now going to break the system. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's actually configure this thing up properly before we break the whole thing. So we're going to come in here and we're going to say, hey, I would like partial, and then I think I said a stack of these. So let's grab a stack of those. That's going to be the quickest way to do this. Lovely. Plop that in there. So that should start requesting a stack of them any minute now. We're going to go ahead and break this. Okay, so that's going to cause that to fill up nearly to the point of probably blowing up, which is fine. So we're going to connect the two of these now, and we are going to actually need to have basic pipes right there, because there's going to be sort of an intersection. And also we should have, I'm hopeful that we will have a firewall pipe. There we go. So we'll get a firewall, and we will get a basic pipe. We'll get two of those. And everything's going to blow up over here in a minute. Yeah, there it goes. That's fine. So basic, firewall. And then we want to configure the firewall pipe so that filtered items are allowed. And since there's nothing in there, nothing will go through. And let's see. Providing, crafting. Crafting is blocked. Providing is blocked. Sorting is blocked. Power flow is allowed. That's pretty much all we want, is for power to go through there. And it's immediately going crazy again for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, this isn't hooked up properly. Oh, that's not hooked up properly at all. No, I want that to be hooked up to this chest here. Why is it hooked up to the crafting table? Is that potentially causing a problem? Okay. Well, fortunately, we do have these here, where I can very easily just dump all the contents out. And then I can try to figure out why this is set up the way it is. Let's break it first off. Good, we've created a hole in the floor. So far, so good on everything, I've got to say. Really pleased with how it's working out. If we go ahead and repair the floor, and then I put this pipe down in such a way that it's connecting, like I want it to connect to there. Oh, you son of a gun. Why aren't you working? Also, why is this happening? Look at this flow. Why are you doing this? It's filling itself up and then emptying itself, and there's no real explanation as to why. Well, we'll just kind of let that run its course. I think I know what we need to do here, is we need to get the module upgrade as well as a disconnection upgrade. This is one of the things that I kind of really hate about this mod. It's really silly that in order to make this work properly, as far as I can tell, you have to put down the cable, and then you can't just like click it with a wrench or something. No. You have to add a disconnection upgrade. But not only that, you have to first add a module upgrade so then you can add the disconnection upgrade. That's dumb. That's dumb and silly. And then not even then, we're still not done, because you gotta have the right thing to interact with it to actually make alterations. I want to say it's the yellow one, but it's definitely the red one. And only then can you go in here and say, hey, no. No. There you go. Now you're set up correctly. So many absolutely ridiculous steps to get to this point. And then we want you to say, hey, give me a stack of those. And then it should just be a matter of waiting patiently. There we go. So now there's a stack of those. And then on this side, we're going to add a provider, except I don't know if we are. Because the whole point in doing this... Oh no, why are they being made and going into there? That doesn't make any sense. There's nothing in here that says, so this is an item sync for general items. It's also got a provider. Why are you manufacturing these and putting them in here? It doesn't make any sense for you to do this. You're just so broken. You're just so broken. We'll go ahead and add the provider module here, which means that the 64 of these should come out and go into here where they're being requested. Hello? Hello? You have a provider module. You have an active supplier module. What is the issue here? Why is this still happening? See how just deeply confused I am? There is nothing summoning these things to go into here. There's no reason for it to do that. What if we just broke the crafting table? Do you think the crafting table's bugged in some way? Also, why isn't this working? That is empty. It should absolutely be requesting some. And there's nothing preventing them from coming out of here. I'll tell you what, you know what? We'll play ball. We'll play silly games. I don't care. We'll send silly games and maybe we'll win some silly prizes. Here. We'll do this. We'll come over here to this one. And we will add these upgrades as well, silly as it is. We will then say, hey, don't connect up to here. Maybe. And we'll see if that makes any difference there. There we go. That's kind of what we want to see. We want to see that acting as a buffer, but it's not really having any impact here. This is still just kind of running forever. So we are going to go ahead and say maybe this thing is just broken. Okay? Maybe that's the case. Maybe it just got super bugged in some way. But we'll empty all the contents into here. We're gonna break this as well. There we are. So we've sort of temporarily at least disabled everything over here. This is all disabled, and now I can focus on clearing out my inventory. I really do, every time we play this pack, find myself really just outright hating this mod more and more. Because it seems like it should work, but it just doesn't. It just doesn't work, and it's kind of a crap, trash mod. I'm ready to say that I don't know how to use it properly, maybe. But also, why is it the way that it is? I cannot fathom why it is the way that it is. Okay. Please make these. And you... I don't think there's anything I need to change here. Import. Seems reasonable. There we go. So remember, what it should do is summon enough items to make 64. There you go. And then that's going to make these, and then every so often this will empty out, and this should run more smoothly. I do think that temporarily having this one set to infinite and connected directly up to here is part of what sort of permanently, not permanently, but yeah, caused a near infinite bug or glitch in the matrix, in the sort of brains of the operation that said, oh, yeah, I gotta create an infinite amount of them, summon all the material in the world, when it didn't need that many. So, adding this buffer, ridiculous as it is, definitely seems to be helping. Now, what I could do to simplify this a little bit is I could get rid of this, and I could get rid of that, and I could just have these connected with one of these. So, it'll keep going indefinitely until... Oh, wait a minute. I could technically get rid of this one and just do the same thing here. I can have this one set up to only hold a stack, and then dump them into here. I remember now what my goal was. My goal was to end up with this chest completely full, and then have them hop into this chest to be completely full. That way we would have, what did we figure out, like 6,000 or 7,000 of them constantly in storage? I think was the goal, but you can't set one of these up to be 6,000 or 7,000. They stop at 127 per slot times 9 slots. I was hoping infinite would work, but maybe infinite just runs forever and causes things to be glitched. So what we've done now effectively is added an additional barrier in the line, which we could get rid of. We could just set this up to 1 stack and we'd be good to go, but then we wouldn't have an entire obsidian chest full. So yeah, I don't know. We could do that. We could have this one set up to 1 stack and just have it boop over to here and then have this boop over into here and just have the setup get increasingly absolutely silly. We could do that. Yeah, why not? So by doing this, we are going to be simplifying the whole setup quite a bit because, I mean, look, we've already got that one down there. So if we're getting rid of this, then we no longer need this. We can just have, and we don't really need that anymore either. We just have regular unrouted pipes here. And that'll be fine, and that'll create the 63 of those. And then we'll just kind of hop from there to there. There we go. And so this will always be empty, and so it'll always be saying, hey, please make 64 of these. And it should get just the right amount of material to make 64 of them. And it should never overflow in a ridiculous manner. And everything should be fine. Everything should be good. And then eventually, this'll fill up. And then this'll fill up. And then this'll get to 63. And it'll... Or, sorry, 64. And it'll stop running. Right? Hopefully. I can understand now why Brashiat did the setup the way he did. There's all this extra room to do this sort of nonsense because the mod is so confusingly non-functional sometimes. Is this filled back up? So there's that crisis averted, and here's... Oh, good gosh. I don't even know what the correct orientation is. I guess it's going to be whatever this is up here, because you can't rotate these, so there we go. Lovely. I would love to have a different mod in this pack to manage storage and automation. Does the storage mod that sort of... Because remember, there was Applied Energistics, and then Applied Energistics got way too confusing and convoluted and complicated. And then it got, almost cloned into a simpler, like, Minecraft storage mod. What was it called? Minecraft storage mod. Here it is. I think it's Simple Storage, isn't it? Simple Storage Network. This sounds about right. Yeah, and you can do automation with that too, can't you? And it's available for version 12. I'll tell you what, in an alternate reality... Wait, is it available for version 12, or did I just say that? No, it absolutely is, 12.2. In an alternate reality, where I was free to add mods to my heart's content, we would just add that. And I guess at that point, we really wouldn't be playing Tekkit 2 anymore. Because I feel like coming to terms with the clunkiness of these stupid logistics pipes is part of the Tekkit 2 experience. Do you want to play Tekkit 2? You gotta use these stupid pipes then. And they don't work in logical or reasonable ways, and if you're not careful, you'll break the game. Although saying that, you know what else is just not a part of Tekkit 2? And yet here it is for some inexplicable and some unexplainable reason. I'm pretty sure that's a Twilight Forest portal. Like, I'm not positive, but it's got that vibe. And I feel like... I know for sure that this is not... Are you about to... Hello? Well, there's just a cow in the Twilight Forest now, I guess. Just kind of wandered in there. I'm not too sure about that. I'm also not too sure about most of the other things happening around me right now. We got trains and things. I keep asking, and no one seems to understand where they come from. No one seems to get it. I'm starting to think I'm the only person experiencing these sorts of, like, random buildings spawning, and quests being given, and whatnot. So these aren't going to run out for a really long time, considering there is 125,000 of those, and 3 million of those, and 133,000 of those. That's going to keep going for a while. Anyway, meanwhile, in the basement... One thing we could do now, if we wanted to, even more so increase the speed of this nonsense, is we could add an additional, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4... Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 per corner, so we need 20, because I can do basic math. I don't know how big a difference that's going to make, though, in the overall sort of performance, because right now we've got, how many... There's 34,000 EU per tick passing through there. A ludicrous amount of voltage. So adding 5 more is going to make a bit of a difference, but is it enough to really speed up the production of UU matter? I'm unsure. This is so close to hitting 64 as well, which would allow the rest of the system to take a quick break, which is why I feel so bad about coming down here and grabbing another 20 of these and just setting it back that much more. But that is what the automation is for. It's here to serve me and make things for me. We gotta figure out how to orient these, because what we were doing is they're oriented, you see the line in the middle, kind of in the direction the wall flows, but we're gonna have an issue with that here, because obviously I can do this one in that sort of an orientation, and I can do this one in that sort of an orientation, but then what do I do with this one here in this corner? What direction do I have it go? I guess we'll decide right now that all corner ones go north to south, right? Because that's just, we have to make that decision. The alternative is for them to all be faced in sort of a, oh, you know what, I might like that better. So if that one goes that way, this one would go this way, facing towards that corner, and then this one goes this way, facing towards this corner, and then this one goes this way, facing towards that corner. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Oh, but then what do we do about, like, what if we want to place some here and here on these exposed ones? What do we do about that? I hadn't considered that. Now it's a whole situation. We're not going to worry about it right now because we're just not going to do that. Do we have any more glass fiber cables? Because I don't have any going into these corners here. I don't know if I want them to touch and make a loop. I don't think that would hurt anything, but I also don't think it would help anything by connecting it here, so I'm just not going to. There we go. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely right there? And then just 2 more to go. It might be beneficial. I mean, I suppose really the more the better. So maybe we should go ahead and put them in these corners as well. But for now, let's check and see how much power we're producing. It should still be daytime. And we are outputting a whopping 44,000 EU per tick, kind of in that range. 44,489 per tick. Is this visibly faster still? I'm assuming at some point we might get to a point where we've maxed out the amount of power this thing can accept, if that is such a thing is possible. Right now it's accepting 42,000, 44,000. Some of the power goes over here, you know, about 33. That's all that consumes? 39? 39. About 39 EU per tick to keep the recycler operating. What is the other one doing? We knew that those were a bit more efficient than your standard overclocker upgrade. How much power do you consume? 11. Okay. Well, this is definitely more efficient from a power perspective. 11 EU per tick. It might be better to have 2 compacting recyclers. But I'm not really going to worry about changing either of them right now, because for the time being, we are maintaining our scrap metal. It'll be interesting. If we continue to make this thing faster, we might get to a point where we cannot maintain scrap levels, which is quite the concept, isn't it? How many more would I need if I wanted to do the corners? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 per corner, so we need 16 more. Because again, I can math. This is awful. I feel so bad. I feel so bad. Look at that. It's down like now lower than halfway. So that obviously goes like that. This obviously goes like that. So now what do we do? Okay, this one catches that one. I'm trying to visualize this like beams. So there's electrical beams. So the beams shoot out of here, bzzz, and they go into here, and then this one redirects them around that way. And I'm trying to just make excuses for why they are not consistent in my head. Because my head needs an explanation, or it'll hurt. What I really should have done was just had all of them face in one direction universally. So all of them flow, you know, east to west or north to south, instead of having them change on the turns. I didn't do that, and is it too late to do that? That would be silly, wouldn't it, at this point? Tell me it would be silly to take them all down, just so I could have them twist around and point in different directions. Tell me about how silly that would be and what a waste of time it would be, and how did we end up with an extra one? Ah, I see. Right. I don't guess that hurts anything. There we go. Presumably a packet will just follow the path of least resistance. By the way, about 52,000 EU per tick now. And it is getting dark, so I might go spam the bed here till it lets me sleep. Oh, thank you for setting a new spawn point, but that's not exactly what I wanted you to do. Hello? Hello? Any second now. There we go. So now we just gotta wait on power production to ramp, because as we all know, it's always really early in the morning, but there we go. So at 52, this should be consuming, yep, pretty much all that power. It feels like it's visibly faster. I think we're probably good down here. I think we don't need to add any more solar panels, and I think that the idea of rotating them all to face one direction is silly. Unless we were rotating them to follow the sun? Would that make more sense? I'm trying to think about this practically. If they're real solar panels, the sun goes that way to that way. So would we want them following these kind of streaks here, like it rises on this one and sets on this one? Or would we want them to hit both of them simultaneously as it makes its arc through the sky? Probably the latter. Probably the latter is what we would want. So if I were to just grab this, for example, and then just start, like, you know, we come over to this one, and we rotate them. How long would this take? I mean, look, these aren't even the same. Like, sure, the middle line is, but the swivelies are on the wrong side. See, the thicker one's on this side, and this one has the thinner one. Oh, see. Yeah, no, all of these need to be redone, basically. What a ridiculous way to spend one's time. And yet, here I am. Here I am. There. Now, all the solar panels are in the exact same orientation. They're all facing the same way and doing the same thing. Isn't it so much better? I bet you it's producing more power that way, too. It's not. If you thought it actually would be, though, gotcha. Now, of course, at night, we're still limited by the amount of power being produced because of the MFSUs here. But, you know, we're going from this many high-voltage sources to this many. But that's okay. It's still going plenty fast. And once we upgrade these bad boys to their equivalent, I mean, that's where we'll really be getting somewhere. But with that done, now is the time to automate teleporters. Yeah, we're doing it. Okay, here's what I think we'll do. We'll set it up right here, because we've got a spot open for it. And if we have a look at teleporters, we're already manufacturing everything we need except for the frequency transmitters, which we're already manufacturing everything we need. So I think we'll do them back to back. We should probably have everything we need here. I'm going to assume that we do have 2 logistics crafting tables. Excellent. We'll need a bunch of ender chests, some basic, some unrouted. Oh, goodness me. Provider logistics pipes could be fun and a good way of doing this without needing to have both MK1 chassis as well as the provider modules, so we might go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and count off exactly how many ender chests we're going to need over here. So we're going to need, we already know, copper cable and electronic circuit, so that's 2. And then 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them, huh? I don't think we've ever stacked them before, at least not in the way that we're about to, but we're going to stack them for the sake of, you know, using as little space as possible here. And then we're going to need way more provider modules. So I'll have to go build some more of that. Or should I say cables, pipes, tunnels, provider, something or another. Also, I need to remember that the direction you're facing is the direction you'll be facing after the teleport. So if the first thing I want to do is walk into here, anytime I teleport, I need to just go ahead and face that direction. And then I'll be sort of primed for it. But if we've already built these before, then I'm guessing all I need to do is locate, let's see, logistics program. What are these for? Provider logistics pipe? That's actually exactly what we wanted, was the provider logistics pipe. So hopefully we have whatever we need for it. Okay, and we've lost the logistics programmer, because for some reason it got booted into my inventory. I can't remember how many more of these I said we needed, probably 3, and I made 4 Out of FPGAs, huh? I think we've got a little bit of that right over here. We need to do something about the storage situation. We keep talking about automating these so we can make logistics pipes more easily. And that might be something to consider doing in the future as well. Although, with that said, I'm kind of over logistics pipes. I don't really want to use them anymore. They frustrate me to no end. And I'd rather do something different. But I don't know what else we would do. Alright, providers. Lovely. Now I gotta figure out the actual color combinations that I need. I was getting those set up over there, and then I got confused because I was like, wait, why do I have this set up like this? Why is it set up like this? I don't actually know. Why am I not just emptying the maximum amount into here? Give me that back. There's no reason for it. Get that out of there. There's no reason for that to be there. There's no reason for it to be filtered. Just put the unlimited amount in there, and an unlimited amount in here, and then this is set to 64. I have no idea why I do the things that I do sometimes. It's just baffling. I'll just make a decision and it's odd. But there we get the 2 of those set up here. So we could start making remotes, but I'm going to set up the other 4, which means that we are now moving on to these, and this. Alright, I've got all of our raw ingredients set up here with everything that we need. Now we need to start configuring the crafting tables. And we're going to use a logistics chassis MK3 here, and I'll tell you why. I had a bit of a funny idea here, right? So we want to create basically a stack of frequency transmitters and keep that on the go at all times. So we're going to go ahead and configure this with the frequency transmitter. And did I misspell something? No, there it is. Perfect. Configure that as we have many before. What is this? Frequency module. Different mod, not important. I think that's how you hear things in space or something like that. So partial, crank this up to 60... Well, you know what? Maybe it's going to make 127 of them, because the alternative, there's no way to lower this. If you, like, click on it or scroll on it on any way, it just gets rid of it entirely and you have to start over, which is stupid and irritating. And something that I just love so much about this. So that's going to request for this to manufacture. Actually, it's not. I need to configure this appropriately and then import that here. Which, in order to do that, you have to have a wrench as well. You can't just right-click on them because the mod makes sense. So there we go. But also what we're going to do with this big chest, because that's a lot of space just to have 64 modules. We're going to go ahead and configure it with a default route item sync so that anything that gets mixed up in here somehow has a place to go. Which means we also want to go ahead and throw a provider module in there, because we're going to want to use the provider module to get the frequency transmitters out of here anyway. So there's that done with. And then, of course, we can slap an item frame, and we're going to want a couple of those anyway, so we'll grab a few of them. And we're going to want to put a frequency transmitter on both of those. So the next one here is going to be where we actually do the manufacturing of the teleporters. And hold on. Whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. Something happened there. What is it? Diamond. Yeah, no, use that for sure. Regular old Minecraft diamond. And import that one. And, of course, we'll want that to go into this obsidian chest here. For that, I think we could just, once again, use... Oh, you know what? Does that recipe makes one at a time. No, we'll be fine. I was going to say... We could go ahead and use the supplier logistics pipe, but then I thought, well, wait a minute. If more than one teleporter gets made in a crafting operation, we might end up with an awkward situation where there's one floating around in here, but it'll just go over here, and then also it only manufactures one at a time anyway, so that's incredibly unlikely to be an issue. But we'll configure this one with the teleporter. I don't think we need to have tons and tons of teleporters sitting around. As far as I'm concerned, I think 64 of them ought to be fine. We could set it to infinite and see if it would fill up this chest with teleporters. That could be funny. But we're going to set this one up the way we have all of them. We plop that down in there. And filtered items are allowed. Providing is blocked. Crafting is blocked. Sorting is blocked. Power is basically the only thing that is allowed. And then that's going to flow into here. And all of this is going to come online. And we should start seeing some movement here. We should start seeing things happening if we set it all up correctly, which I know that we did. I see that this is filling up with those for some reason. Do you see that as well? And that's full. Okay, that's a bad sign, because why is it not going into here and just crafting the dang thing? We've got this set up, right? We set this up properly. This has the active supplier, partial, 64. And this is why I just love this mod so much, is you get BS like this, where these are completely filled up with nowhere to go. Look at them. They're just like crammed up in there. Why aren't they going in here and doing the crafting operation? Why was this not imported? I did that. Did I not do that? Did I not do that? I'm almost positive that I had previously done that. Why is it still broken? Why is nothing happening? Hello? And I know that this one's set up properly. Yeah, that one's set up properly. And this one's set up properly. Hello? Frequency transmitter? Okay, maybe let's disconnect. And then reconnect. You stupid son of a gun. What is going on right now? What is happening? It looks like it's all working. But why was it broken for a minute? I don't understand why it was broken to begin with. Oh, whatever. Are you working? What are you doing? So this has taken up a lot of excess because these got completely filled. These are both currently... You can see the pipes are currently filled for some arbitrary reason. All of these are for just no real apparent reason. Whatever. I'm gonna toss these back inside of here. Oh, these don't stack. Okay, then maybe making 64 of them is a bad idea if they don't stack. Let's instead have it make maybe like 10 of them or something, or I tell you what, how many rows are there across the top of one of those? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12. We'll do 12 of them. That's like a full row across the top. So, perfect. It shouldn't really try to make any more of those. We have 64 teleporters now. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that stuff is still going in here for some reason, when there's no reason for it to. We're going to take all of these items out, and we're going to manually move them over here. Actually, we're going to go ahead and break all of these, because they're all full of nonsense for no reason. They're just full for no reason whatsoever, and the whole thing is just broken for no reason whatsoever. Okay, so with all of that mess tidied up, if I go over there and I plug the providers back in, nothing ought to happen, because nothing's being summoned or requested right now. We've got all of these. We've got more than we needed, in fact, because we only wanted 12 of them. We've got the 64 teleporters. Good news is we'll never need to make another teleporter. That's the actual really good news. We'll never have to manually manufacture another one of those for so long as we shall both live, or whatever they say when we're married. Congratulations. We're joined together in union now. Just me and my computer have now entered into a holy... someone's got to have done that before. Tell me no one's buried their gaming PC before. I won't believe you if you say that hasn't happened. I 100% guarantee someone got done putting the thing together, they got the RGB fired up, they're peeling the plastic off, and they just go, oh, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And then boom, there you go. Man marries PC. Man marries gaming PC, and it's real cringe. And then also he's like, yeah, I sent an invite to Linus Tech Tips to come to my wedding, and he turned me down. And it's just Linus going, I don't know, I'm not going to go to a wedding, Luke. It's weird. I'm from Canada, eh? I'm not going to America because a guy's marrying his PC. It would be in America. Or could also be in Japan. I believe a Japanese man would do that. And no, I can't explain my Linus Tech Tips voice to you. I don't know what that was either. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't tell you, Luke. I'm not going to do it. We actually need 4 more of these so we can put them on the glass up here. Oh, boy. Okay. Easy does it there, partner. Let's see. There we go. Now we can spot them from a distance. Isn't that great? Is everything good over here? Oh, Shrek off. Why? Why? Get out of here! What is the purpose? Why are you still going? Why? Why are you doing? What is the reason for it? Stop. Stop putting this trash in here. Why are you doing it? Is it because this thing is loaded with them? If I break that, those will all spill out on the ground over here. Alright, now if I put that pipe back on, is it going to once again just load itself full of these? Stop! Why? Nothing about this setup is necessitating that you summon so many cables. Neither of these is running. The operations are finished. Out of just raw curiosity, if I grabbed a logistics chassis MK1 and we got just a regular old provider module, would it still do this? Would it still, for some asinine reason, load itself up with these when nothing needs them or is requesting them? Would it do that? Let's find out. We're going to set that up. We're going to plop that in there. Let's see what happens. So far, nothing. So far, nothing has happened. But what if I take one of these out? Okay? It needs to craft a new one. What happens then, huh? Yeah? Then what? Then why? Why then, if I do this with a dedicated pipe, a pipe dedicated to doing this one task, the one purpose it exists, if I come over here and I take one of these out, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? What is the reason? Why are you doing that? There's no reason! But then this, right? We do that. We come over here and we take a couple of these out, right? Just doesn't do it. Just doesn't do it. Does the craft operation and it just doesn't do it. Does it have something to do with these being all connected like this? Is that causing it to have some kind of a fit? If we do this, okay, all right, if we do that and we replace it with one of these, you know, we put our provider pipe back in there, and then we do a couple of these here. Oh, you can't add these. You can't add these to here. Or apparently you absolutely can, and we've caused some kind of problem. I guess you don't need the module upgrades when you're just applying directly to... Okay, you know what? I need the device that allows me to interact with this. Where has that gone? Okay, let's take out the 3 of these. And let's add just one, okay? And we're going to reconfigure this thing. What is currently being blocked off? Yeah, block that off. And then we really only want you to interact with this one pipe here. So if you could do that, that would be swell. I see that you're already full, but if I break you, okay? And then my inventory's full because it's full of stupid cables! So we're going to try this one more time. We're going to put that on there. We're going to put that on there. That'll disconnect it from the one above it, okay? For whatever reason, maybe that makes a difference. Wait a minute, hold on. Hold on, no, I think I can already see it getting full for some reason! Never mind. I give up. I give up. I just give up. I can't do this anymore. Where did the provider module go? What did I do with it? Is it not in my inventory? Did I leave it somewhere? Why did I leave it somewhere? Did I come over here and put it away? I can't fathom why I would have done that. I don't know what would have come over me to cause me to do such a thing when I very clearly still need it. Come here. I'll just get a new one. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. It's probably on the ground somewhere. It's probably got left out on the ground. Whatever. Here you go. There you go. You're a provider now. Oh, there it is. Just floating all by itself. Okay. But there we go. We've automated the creation of teleporters. Maybe we are done here. Can we end it? Can we end the suffering, please? This nightmare fuel. There's gotta be a better way. Goodbye. No! Thank you folks for watching. God bless you. I'll see you later. Merry Christmas.